In this installment, we're going to be going over the MLB bet slate for Friday, July 5th. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for our July 5th MLB slate we got going on. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetShetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. Right now we're at the YouTube page here, currently at 6.74 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 10K, and we are well on our way because you guys keep showing up each and every single day. Thanks to you guys liking and commenting, people that are already subscribed. It's helping the YouTube algorithm so we can grow to a broader audience. If you're not subscribed right now, you are 100% missing out on the community that we're building on YouTube and on Patreon right now. All right, now speaking about that Patreon, we had a pretty solid July 4th. I'm just going through all the plays here. We went 8-3, okay, with all the plays here. The teams that did mess us up was Yankees. Yankees didn't come through. Braves didn't come through, and Angels didn't come through. But Cardinals, Guardians, Twins, Rays, all those came through. We went on fire with the upset specials, all of them. That was a complete sweep. You could have done a parlay on the upsets there. Complete sweep. Nationals, Cubs, Padres, Mariners, all 4 upsets came through. So if you want to sign up for the premium plays, you go to that link provided down below and get locked in. I'm so excited to announce I have partnered with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert to provide you guys with an easier way to sign up with any sportsbook in your area. If you go to the link in the description down below, you will be directed to this page you see here. It automatically displays all available sportsbooks in your area plus their current promotions. For example, you could take the plays given in this video and apply it to any other sportsbooks you don't currently have and reap the rewards. Now let's get into the slate. In PNC Park here, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates 41-45 going up against the New York Mets 42-43. Looking at the current odds right now, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates at a -125 with the comeback of the Mets as underdogs at a +105. Total run set at 7.5. So very low total in this one here. For the public bet percentage here, 81% of the bets coming in on Pittsburgh. But if we're looking at the sharps in the public, 96% of the money is coming in on the Mets. So people are split here. One side with the Pittsburgh Pirates and bets, money-wise, all over the Mets here as underdogs. Total runs, 90% of the bets, 94% of the money towards that 7.5. Pitching matchup, very solid pitching matchup here. Luis Severino, who's had a bounce-back year, 5-2 with a 3.42 ERA, going up against the legendary. I can say legendary right now, but this is a phenom here. Paul Skeens 4-0 with a 2.06 ERA. So he's been on a heater as of late. Still hasn't had his first loss yet. So it's gonna come eventually. It's gonna come eventually. That one spot where he struggles. But looking at these two pitchers here, Luis Severino, he does have some home run splits. He pitches better at home with a 2.82 ERA. His road ERA is at a 4.19. And like I said, he's had a bounce back year this year. And he has a pretty solid BVP going up against the current Pirates roster as of right now. Paul Skeens, on the other hand, obviously, he's a great strikeout artist. He's been phenomenal this year. At home, he does pitch a little bit worse. His ERA at home is a 2.89 home ERA. The road ERA is nearly impeccable at a 1.11. But he does have some home run issues against righties. His home run per 9 is a 1.76. And against lefties, he's given up an average of 286. a whip of 1.42, and an xFIP at a 4.47. So some regression is coming his way in this one, and I think the Mets can get to Paul Skeens in this one here. Give me the Mets with the be safe with the plus 1.5. If you're willing to take the money line, I like the Mets money line plus 105 as well. And if I'm going with the total over under 7.5 here, if I think that he's going to give up some runs, give me the over 7.5 runs in this one, because if it might be one of those rude awakenings for the young starter here and they tattoo him a little bit, give me the over 7.5. In at Nationals Park here, we have Washington 41-46 going up against the St. Louis Cardinals 45-41. Looking at the current odds, St. Louis Cardinals are road favorites, minus 190 here with the total. With the comeback of the Nationals at a plus 155, total set at 9. All right, for the public bet percentage, 74% of the bets, 94% of the money, all over the Cardinals here. Total runs, 88% of the bets, 82% of the money towards the over 9 runs here. Pitching matchup, Sonny Gray, 9-5 with a 2.98 ERA, going up against Patrick Corbin with a 1-8 record and a 5.49 ERA. Now, with Sonny Gray here, he has very stark home run splits. At home, he's phenomenal. Elite ace, 1.91 ERA at home. On the road, a little bit different here, 4.54 ERA on the road. And he's giving up home runs to righties with a 1.89 home run per 9. And he's going to see at least 4 righties here against the Nationals. So it's not too bad. And these righties aren't that upper tier echelon of righties. So Sonny Gray should be in a fine spot here on the road going up against this Nationals team here. Patrick Corbin, on the other hand, he has been pretty much a gas can this whole entire season. That's why you see 8 losses and a 5.49 ERA. But his last 2 games, he has pitched very, very well in his last 2 games. So when you're looking deeper at his numbers, he has an issue against righties, and it's a really bad issue. A 2.25 home run per 9 against righties, a 1.44 whip, and a 5.07 xFIP against righties. I can't go back to the well with Patrick Corbin. I absolutely can't. He's that bad of a pitcher, despite the fact he's going to have maybe a handful of good starts here and there. He should be getting tattooed in this one. I love the over 9 runs in this one. Even if things falter, say if the Cardinals get tagged up, Sonny Gray gets tagged up, I do expect him to be able to score right back on to Patrick Corbin as well. So over 9, I love. That's going to be one of our favorite plays. And I'm going to go with the Cardinals on the money line as well at minus 190. Next up in Yankee Stadium. Oh, man. History was made July 4th for the Yankees there, and it wasn't good news. They were swept for the first time in 48 years. Absolutely insane. Swept by the Cincinnati Reds. It hasn't happened in 48 years by the same very team in 1976 against the Reds in the World Series. So same team comes back to haunt them yet again. But 48 years later, absolutely insane. So Yankees here, 54-35, going up against the Boston Red Sox, 47-39. Looking at the current odds right now, New York Yankees on the money line, minus 140 as favorites with the comeback of the Red Sox at a plus 115. Total runs set at 8. So it was very interesting to see. You know, you're expecting the Yankees to bounce back. This is almost like a must bounce back. This is like a triple down here. If you want to look, a quadruple, because if they lose 4 in a row, oh man. Looking at the public bet percentage, 74% of the bets, 60% of the money on the Yankees here. So people are they're like, is this going to be a little bit of a losing streak here for the Yankees? Obviously, this is a rivalry here between Boston. That's why you see a little bit closer here between the money. Looking at the percentages, total runs, 84% of the bets, 92% of the money towards the over 8 runs. Very interesting to see people going towards the over because we have a phenomenal pitching matchup here. Tanner Houck has been absolutely insane this year. 7-6 with a 2.67 ERA. Going up against Nestor Cortez, 4-7 with a 3.51 ERA. He's been phenomenal as well. Like I said, Tanner Houck, elite on the road, 1.85 ERA on the road. He's been outstanding this year, but he is coming off a bad performance against the Padres. In 4 innings, he gave up 7 earned runs, 3 home runs. But when you're looking at the whole career against the Yankees, he tends to dominate the Yankees. So that's a positive note there. Yankees, on the other hand, Nestor Cortez, elite at home. He is 1.89 ERA at home. So this one is going to be a little bit of a pitcher's duel. I'm going to go towards the under. I'm going to fade the public here, going towards the over. Give me the under 8 runs. And if I had to choose a team here, I expect the Yankees to get off this losing schneid here, get a win, bounce back from that sweep that they haven't had in 48 years. Give me the Yankees on the money line. Give me the under 8 runs in a pitching duel between Cortez and Hawk. Next up in Great American Small Park here, Cincinnati Reds 42-45 going against the Detroit Tigers 39-48. Looking at the current line right now, we have the Tigers. Let's double check this line. I want to make sure here. What does FanDuel have? FanDuel has the Tigers. All right, it's the Reds as slight favorites here, -115. And the Tigers on the comeback at a -105. The total run set at 9 here in Cincinnati. Public bet percentage, 85% of the bets, 56% of the money towards the Cincinnati Reds here. So we have sharps and public coming in on that Tiger side when we're looking at the money. For the total, it's pretty split down the middle here. 55% of the bets, 51% of the money towards the over 9 runs. Starting pitching matchup here, Reese Olson 2-8 with a 3.32 ERA. He's been really solid this year. Going up against Carson Spears 2-1 with a 3.13 ERA. Carson Spears has been good in the limited amount of starts that he's been up with the Reds as of late, but we're seeing a lot of regression coming from his expected numbers against both lefties and righties. So that's going to be a big question mark here. The benefit is he's going up against the Tigers because the Tigers are not a very good offensive team at all. And Reese Olson, he's been good this year. All right. And if we're looking at his main issue, it is against lefties. Giving up a 1.04 home run per 9. Not too bad. xFIP is at 4.49 as a total. So if I'm going to be leaning towards the team here, I think I'm going to be going with the sharp money here on that 44%. Give me the Tigers with the better pitcher in Reese Olson. He's been good at home and on the road as well. This has been the Tigers' third best pitcher. They got a stable of 3 guys that they can rely upon. Reese Olson is one of them. So give me the Tigers on the money line. And if I have to choose an over-under, I'm going to go towards the under in this spot here. Under 9 runs here between the Tigers and the Reds. I do not trust that offense on both sides here. Reds going up against Olson and Tigers going up against Spears. I do think they can get a few runs, but I don't expect the total to be past 9. Next game up here, we're going to be in Target Field, Minnesota 49-38 going up against the Houston Astros 45-42. Looking at the game odds right now, we have the Twins slight favorites -150 on the money line with the comeback of the Houston Astros at a +130. The total set at 8.5. Looking at the pitching matchup here, we have Sean Dubin 1-1 with a 4.91 ERA, 1.56 WHIP, so not good numbers there. I'm telling you right now, this is a bullpen game for the Astros. Dubin only goes around 2 to 3 innings, depending on how good he's pitching, and they're going to be going to that bullpen. Astros bullpen is pretty good. They're top 8 in the league, going by ERA. All right, so the pitching matchup here is up against Pablo Lopez, 8-6 with a 4.88 ERA and a 1.15 WHIP. He's been looking a little bit stronger here, but looking at those numbers, as you see that last stat here, the home run number is his issue. 17 home runs so far this year has been a concern for Pablo Lopez, but looking at his back-to-back games, absolutely stellar. This is the Pablo Lopez that we expected when he came over from the Marlins to the Twins. 25 strikeouts last 2 games, 14 innings pitched, and only 1 earned run. So, looking at Pablo Lopez, I think he wants to continue things going this route, and I definitely like him in this game here. Give me the Twins on the money line, and give me the under 8.5. I think that this is going to be a little bit of a pitching duel. Dubin can get hit up, but the bullpen behind him is very, very strong for the Houston Astros. So Twins on the money line and under 8.5. Next up in the Coliseum, we have the Oakland Athletics, 33-56, going up against the top tier of the AL East, 55-32, Baltimore Orioles. Looking at the money line right now, Orioles road favorites -190 with the comeback of the Oakland Athletics at a +155. Total runs set at 8. For the public bet percentage, 89% of the bets, 99% of the money, all over the Baltimore Orioles. Total runs, 86% of the bets, 85% of the money towards the over 8 runs. So I'm going to be agreeing with that total so far. Looking at the pitching matchup, Albert Suarez, 4-2 with a 2.43 ERA. Going up against Hogan Harris, 1-2 with a 3.18 ERA. Albert Suarez on the road has a 3.38 road ERA, but he does struggle against lefties. In small sample size here, the A's are absolutely tattooing Suarez with a batting average of a 462 and the OPS at a 1.038. So bad numbers. Hasn't given home runs, but they have been hitting him and hitting him well. So looking at Hogan Harris, he has some regression as well, despite the fact he has a decent ERA of 3.18. That the expected numbers tell me something different, and he struggles with power. All right, so if we're looking at his xFIP right now against righties, a 5.12. That's not good, and he's giving up a high whip to lefties. So either a big ERA here, expected ERA on against righties, and a high amount of hits against lefties. That's really a bad sign here when you're going up against the Orioles' stacked offensive lineup. So top play for this particular matchup here is going to be the over 8 runs, and I'm going to be taking the Orioles to get this win here at the -190 as well. Last but not least, we're going to be in Petco Park here. San Diego Padres, 48-43, going against the Arizona Diamondbacks, 42-44. We do not have a current line right now on this matchup here between these two pitchers. Going by the ERA, that's what they usually tend to, and they juice it a little bit according against home and road splits here. This line should be around 9.5. I'll say 9. So we're going to have an over-under of 9 here between the Diamondbacks and the Padres. Obviously between Slade Sansoni and Randy Vasquez. Slade, 2-6 with a 5.81 ERA, 1.26 whip. Vasquez is 2-4 with a 4.88 ERA and a 1.66 whip. Now, these two guys here they have the same issue. They have big home road splits, all right? Slade is phenomenal on the road with a 3.35 ERA, and his home ERA is 11.65 in Arizona. That's the offensive haven there in Arizona. That's why a lot of these pitchers for Arizona have been struggling at home. But he does handles lefties and righties very well on the road. If you're looking at his numbers and you dig deep, his issue is home runs, even on the road. Okay, so his home run per 9 against lefties is a 1.31, and his home run per 9 against righties is a 1.83. So definitely, if you're looking for some home runs from the Padres here, definitely look to attack Slade. Okay, in this spot here, and his lefties xFIP is at a 5.16 on the road as well. So across the board there, you can definitely see some spots where the Padres bats can get to the right-handed Slade here. Also, Padres are number 1 in the league by far against any other team that bring out a right-handed pitcher. Okay, this is the strongest team in the league against righties. That is the San Diego Padres. All right, if you want to beat the Padres, throw a lefty at them, and they get a little bit flummoxed there. Now Vasquez, same issue. Very good at home, very bad on the road. All right, so his numbers slightly are raised here against lefties. So you definitely got to watch out for lefties. Going up against Vasquez here. Lefties, 6.83 xFIP when he sees a lefty, a 3.00 whip, and a batting average at a 475. So, wow. Across the board, very bad. This spot here, I can't even pick a winner. I think the best way to attack this here is take the over. Both of these guys should be giving up a ton of runs here on both sides. Give me the over on whatever total is going to be. And if I had to choose, I would go with The Padres. We're going to take the Padres on the money line. All right. So take the over. That's by far my favorite play. If you had to choose, I would slightly lean to the Padres on the money line. So that's going to be the breakdown for our Friday slate in MLB. Let me know in that comment section down below. What are your thoughts, opinions, props, maybe as well for this Friday slate? Let's get creative in that comment section, because I'm telling you right now that Patreon is getting very, very creative. So if you want to have access to that link is provided down below. If you want to see the future for the MLB, I already dropped it. Who I think is gonna make it out of the NL and the AL. I already posted that in the Patreon. So sign up right now. Do not miss out and get connected. I'll be back with another video